Well, you came and took this country girl to the big wide world out there. You promised me most everything and I came without a care. But blinded by those city lights, I couldn't see it was so wrong. I caught me a very big fish, but I pulled you from a very small pond. Okay, this is Broken Promises, and I don't think we'll discuss the whole intro just there. You can have a look further online for that. But today we'll just do the basic chords, because I'm guessing if you've come to this one, you're just starting out your musical journey. So you have your A chord, a D chord, and an E chord. For those of you just starting out on your musical journey, when you're playing an A chord, you want to go to D, think efficiency. Go to D, and there's one of the fingers that need not leave the fretboard or the string. Just release the pressure, slide this along, and then add the other two. So you're on the A, slide the second string finger along, and then add the rest of the chord. Of course, that happens in reverse as well. Going from A to E, you're just going to have to move all of your fingers around. I suggest if you're starting out with your lessons, before you start trying to play a song, practice this, backwards and forwards. You know that old rule of 17 times. If you do it 17 times, it'll commit to your long-term memory. Don't try and go too fast, and don't be disappointed in yourself. Just keep trying it. If you've only just started, don't worry about the bar chord. This one, F sharp minor, which you'll see in the written music later, F sharp minor can be replaced by chord A. And for all intents and purposes on the song, unless you're playing it for me, nobody will know any difference. However, if you're game to try the bar chords, always remember that when you bar it, and a lot of books don't tell you this, you don't play with this part of the finger. There's more strength in rolling the finger around and playing with the edge. You can test that yourself. If you put your finger on, there's not much pressure. But once you roll it, you can actually push things down much harder. So we would put this finger on the bar across there, close to the fret bar, and the thumb and that finger are pinching together, but this one is almost turned a little bit. This creates a slight V shape here, where there's a lot of strength in that as well. So you'll be able to get a good result out of your bar chords. A little bit extra there. Leave off one finger in the middle, and then 5 and 4 on this side. This is F sharp minor. Okay, so there's your chords, A, D, E, F sharp minor, which can be substituted for A until you get used to the song. Don't be scared to simplify it a little bit. You can still sit around at home playing the song, and thank you for being interested in playing this song. Now, instead of just strumming, what I find that a lot of guitarists of all levels, they get let down by this hand because they're just floundering around, and once you go out of basic music, it can sound quite dull to just do that. So if you're doing anything country based, try and put some bass notes in, we call. I'm going to explain what they are in case you haven't done it. If you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, which is down, up, down, up, down, up, the down strum has to always be the dominant sound. Down, up, down, up. That's where you're going to strike louder. And the up has to be just a little flick, maybe over 1, 2, and 3. So it's down, flick up, down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now when you're doing a lot of country music, especially some of the older stuff, or if you're on stage without a bass guitarist, good idea to put those basses in yourself, which can either be string 6, 5 or 4. And we use 2 on each chord. So on chord A, we'll use 5 and 6. I'm not going to go into all their names and that, because if you're watching this tutorial, you're obviously more on the starting out stage. So 5 would replace one of the strums. Yeah? So 1 and now is 1. It's pretty easy. 2 is 3 would be the 6 and 4. So your basic strum is 5, down, up, 6, down, up, 5, down, up, 6, down, up. Even if you're not doing country music, I use this all the time. It just neatens up your playing, it puts it into a nice package. And if you're the rhythm guitarist in a band, give more than is demanded of you and play this. Even though a bassist will do it, you'll all be in sync and it sounds so much nicer than "He came and took this country girl to the big wide world out there. He came and took this country girl to the big wide world out there." It's just much neater. And it also doesn't make it sound such a shock to the ears when you put in basic little bass riffs. And you do different things with it because you're actually using this end of the guitar. And most people starting out don't. They just go like that. So that's just a nice little hint over any songs that you're doing. How do you work out which basses to use? I'll tell you on this one, it'll be written down and then you'll learn them eventually. A is 5 and 6. For those technically minded people that like to know more about it, that's the A note. And on an A chord, you should always hit an A note first to introduce that sound into the song. E is the dominant of chord A, which doesn't matter if you understand the music side of it. We're not going to get that technical. But the 5 and the 6 work well together. In the music scale, it's 1, 5, 1, 5. So chord A, 5 and 6. Chord E, 6 and 5. Chord D, 4 and 5. One more thing to remember when you do that, when you do your strums, and this is across the board, when you do your strumming, never ever lift your pick to strum back over the note you've just struck. Makes sense if you think about it, because once you do it, it's going to stop ringing, and we want that to resonate. And start off slow, practicing that at home. You might think, oh, I just want to play this song. Trust me, if you can discipline yourself in the early stages, the things that you'll learn when we get into the more technical side will come much, much, much easier. A lot of these are done in the master classes because clearly we don't have time to do heaps after each song. So if you go onto the webpage, you can see in the master class where you'll learn all the different things going into it. This particular one, I'll show you one of the little basses that we'll put. Splash around your money and your promises as well. You know how it goes, da, 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 da. So if you're an advanced player, you'd... Otherwise, you can just add into it. Splash around your money and your promises as well. 5th string in the 4th fret, 4th string open, 4 in the 1st fret, and 4 in the 2nd fret. And how you fit it in is if you're going 1, 2, and 3, 4, and you have to lose one of those to play that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then straight into the other things. How it sounds in context. Splash around your money and your promises as well. But I've got off that carousel that you made look so swell. Just adds a little bit to it, but not integral at this point. I always say to the students that join me online or for either the online masterclasses, which are great because they keep you paced because somebody else will be playing and practicing. So by the time we come for the second one, you dare not have not practiced. But if you do the online ones, one-on-one or anything, always, always start slow and do everything first. And there's billions of great guitarists and great teachers out there. Stick with one for a month or so and get one song happening well. Don't try and say, oh, I can almost do that and then I'll go to this one, or I want to learn that song or that song. Commit yourself to learning the basics of it, and then everything else will be so much easier. Okay, so we've got our chords today, introducing the bar chord, And when you practice it, don't forget, practice the movement. Can you see my arm in the background there? Guitarists do not sit like this, locked up. Watch A, D, A, E. You see my whole arm moving. Once again, nothing at the minute. And you'll say, oh, but I can do it without doing that. You probably can, but that's as far as you'll go. So make sure that you listen to all these little tiny hints, even though it's a basic song. And I hope you enjoy it. And I think we're going to set something up there, and maybe you can show me how well you're doing and play it for me one day.